Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to validate your form using jQuery. I'll also explain you the logic used to build the code for validation. This form has several inputs. For first name and second name, only characters are allowed. Use of any special characters or numbers will give you an error message. Same goes for the email ID. If you miss something in the proper email ID format, it will give you an error message. For passwords, it will suggest you to put at least 8 characters and your re-entered password should match with your original password. Also, if there are any errors in your page, it won't let you register the page. So you have to put all the inputs in right formats now to register. I have already written the code for this program so that now I can explain you the logic behind this code step by step. So first thing first, we have to import this library in our code so that our jQuery form can run. So where to find this? It's simple, just go on Google, type jQuery CDN, go to the first link and there you can see the uncompressed version of it. Just click on it and you'll find the script there. Copy and paste that code in your program. I have already made a video on how to create a floating placeholder form using HTML and CSS. So if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. The link is in my description. Now for this one, I have made few changes in it. That is, I have added a span for displaying the error message and added IDs for the form or input fields and the span so that we can access them in our jQuery functions. These things have been done to all the input fields and the corresponding span. Here we begin with the jQuery. The simple syntax of jQuery is $, which defines or accesses the jQuery, a selector to find the HTML elements, and a jQuery action to be performed on the element. Here, hide action is performed on all the span in the beginning so that we can hide the error messages in the beginning. And also I have created 5 variables for error and initialized them to false. You will see the use of these variables further in the video. Next thing we see is that on the input field I am performing the action of focusout and I am calling a function checkFname in this function, which will trigger when the input field loses its focus. Now this checkFname is actually the function which is performing the task of validating the form. I'm just calling that function in a focusout event. So for each input field, I have created different functions. Now let's begin with the checkFname function. First I have created a variable called pattern and I am assigning a value which is a pattern which I want to store. Now if you see clearly, the pattern says that it can contain A to Z from small and A to Z capitals. So that's the thing we want in our first name, right? Only characters. The next variable is the fname, in which I'm storing the value which the user enters in the text box. Now in this if condition, this statement basically means that it is going to test the value in fname with the pattern, and if it matches, it is going to return a true value, else false. Also I am checking if the text box is empty or not. So if the pattern matches and also the input text is not empty, then the condition is true and the next following code is executed, which is that the error span is hidden, and for a good look, the border bottom of the text field changes to color green. This is the color code for green and it is done by the method.css. But if the pattern does not matches, then the else part is executed, where with the help of the HTML action, the error message is written and it is showed on the screen by this show method, which was initialized to hide in the beginning. And the border bottom changes to the red color. This is the color code for red. And now the variable error fname is also set to true. Remember, we initialized it to false in the beginning. Now it is set to true. The same logic is used for validating the second name also. For password, here we are creating a variable of password length. We are taking the value from the user, and now here we are also calculating the length of it. So in this if condition, we will check that if the password length is less than 8, then it will show the error message from the same fashion, like the HTML function will write the message, .show will show the message on the screen, and the border bottom changes color to red, and the error password variable is set to true. In the check retype password, I am declaring two variables, where password and where retype password, which will store the value of the passwords. If both the password matches, then it's okay, it will change the border to green, but if it doesn't matches, it is going to show the error message and change the border bottom to red color, and set the error variable to true. The check email function is almost the same as the first name. Only thing different here is the pattern. The pattern is quite different than the first name. Here this pattern will check if the entered email address by the user is valid or not. Don't worry, you don't have to type this. I've kept this in my description so you can copy from there. Also, it is going to check if the input field is empty or not. If the pattern matches, then it's okay, the border will turn to green, else it is going to show an invalid email error and the border will turn to red, and also the email error variable becomes true. In the end, we are going to check that if any of the text fields have error message in front of it, then we should not allow the user to register, and this thing is done by this registration form submit function. In this function, I'm declaring all the variables again to false, and then one by one I'm calling the functions check fname, check sname, check email, check password, and check retype password. Now, if any of the fields have errors in them, variable error fname or error sname will be given the value true, right? So if any of the errors is present, then the variable value will be true. So in the if conditions, if it finds that if any of the value is true, then it is not going to execute the if statement, it is going to go to the else statement, and it will prompt the message on the screen, please fill in the form correctly, and it will return the false value, that is it won't allow him to register. But if all the fields are good, they are validated properly and they are green, so it is going to prompt the message registration successful, and it is going to return the value. And that's how you can validate your form easily using jQuery. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up. If you have some doubts in your mind, you can surely go ahead and ask me in the comment section, and subscribe for more awesome videos. Thank you.